Dr. Robi Ludwig is here to help us with that. Dr. Ludwig, thank you for joining us for an important conversation this morning. First, let's walk through the emotional impact that a historic event, I mean, like what we saw on Saturday, the assassination attempt against former President Trump, a current presidential candidate. What can that do to our mental health? What are some emotions people might be feeling right now?
Well, I think it was definitely quite shocking to see, especially to see it unfold on television. It was shocking. It was scary. It's like the whole world entered this new dark chapter in American history. And so not only did it leave people feeling concerned about their own well-being and depression, anxiety, and maybe fears of what they can expect when they walk out into the world, but real concerns about America's future. How can we disagree and not attack one another?
What can people do to check in with themselves to determine what they're feeling so that they can start to process it? And at what point should you consider getting outside help?
Yeah, such a good question. So people should try to identify if they're feeling irritable, easily angered, if they're having difficulty with sleep-wake cycle, if they're feeling depressed and anxious. Sometimes these signs show up somatically, where people have digestion issues, headaches, and again, difficulty falling asleep. So if these symptoms last for a period of 2 weeks or more, it's generally a good idea to get professional help, or at least an evaluation to make sure that you're getting the help and attention that you need.
With social media, right, information is so accessible. Video, images, so accessible for anyone with a phone or computer. That, of course, includes kids and teenagers at this point. How can parents explain what's happening right now to their kids?
Well, it's really important for parents to ask their children, what have they heard? What have they seen? Because it's very likely kids have seen something and may feel uncomfortable talking about it with their parents. So first, regulate your own emotions, address your child and say, what have you seen? If they've seen something, make sure that you listen and you try to validate their feelings. And if they're frightened about what's going on, you can ask them, how can they be part of the solution? There are always people helping out in a tragic scenario. So look for the helpers. Know that after an incident like this, there tends to be a revision of the way we address the world and address these problems. And to be part of the action, do you want to write letters to the doctors? Do you want to be part of a movement that helps reduce violence? As soon as we can take action and find our community, it's very soothing and helps us to feel better psychologically.
Mr. Rogers' advice, look for the helpers, always comes in handy. What are some of the good daily habits for people to practice that can help them take care of their mental health, especially during emotionally charged times like this?
So it's really important to pause and take a moment to ask yourself, how am I feeling? How am I doing? Am I feeling stressed? Am I feeling tension? Am I exercising? Am I meditating? Am I doing breathing exercises to make sure that I am managing myself and my emotional well-being? It's also really important to talk to others, talk to friends, talk to like-minded people so that you feel a sense of connection and not so isolated. And if you really feel that you need more help on top of that, find your group. Go to your doctor. There really is help out there, but finding a community and taking time to ask yourself questions is really important.
And Dr. Ludwig, what about taking a break, right? I mean, obviously it's difficult for people like us to take a break from the news or from screens, but to get off of social media for a little while, to kind of maybe remove yourself from an echo chamber of content that you might sort of be stuck in. Can that help?
It can help so much. Like, take that break, and also to intellectually know what social media does. Social media can be very divisive. It can encourage us to feel very intense emotions. It exposes us just to one side of a situation. So once you're intellectually aware, it can help you from getting sucked in where your emotions are strong, but you don't know why that is. And there's a new study that found maybe we use our negative emotions. Maybe we don't try to get rid of them, but we use them to become involved in in the political process or in groups that we feel will help the community. We need to look at our world through a third eye, which is our community has value, and we need to respect the democratic process and do whatever we need to do in order to make that happen.
Dr. Robi Ludwig, a really important conversation during a tough week. Thank you for joining us.